everybody, and greetings from Brazil. I am Rosa Masgrau, Vice President of Mercado y Eventos, the Brazil's leading tourism newspaper. Today we are very excited to be joined by Vinicius Lummertz. Vinicius was Tourism Minister of Brazil and President of Embratur. Now Vinicius is Secretary of Tourism of Sao Paulo state, which has 44 million inhabitants and 645 municipalities. Now we would like to welcome Vinicius Lummertz.
Well, thank you, Rosa. It's a pleasure. I'm very glad to be here with you.
So, Vinicius, let's hear more about the reasons for this award and the challenge facing the travel and tourism industry in our region. Okay. So I would like to ask you some questions about it. All right, can I start it?
Sure.
Vinicius, how is 2021 looking in terms of intent and bookings?
Well, 2020 situation now, at this moment, we are at around 15% of our international flights, 45% of the national flights. We will get around 60-65% at the end of the year. I think it's going to be a big summer in Brazil. We have to be very careful with the proceedings and protocols we have built. Sao Paulo is getting out of the impact of COVID without having had to return. We are preparing the vaccines in partnership with the Chinese company called the vaccine called Coronavac, and we are partnered with others. We'll be producing vaccines in Brazil. We have built it. We are going to be building a factory in the next 2 or 3 months. All donations from the private sector. Factory to produce vaccines and have more autonomy. Now, how is it going to look like in the summer? It's going to be internal tourism within Brazil, within Sao Paulo, mostly within Sao Paulo, because we are the largest emitters of tourism and also inbound in Brazil, nationally and internationally. 60% of tourism companies are located in Sao Paulo. So the reaction will be the traveling to the coast of Sao Paulo internally. About the future itself, it's very hard to say. It depends on everywhere else. I think we have to wait a little bit more. 21 is not so clear.
Okay, Vinicius, second question. Let's go. What were the main challenges you faced at the height of the pandemic?
Well, it's the shock. What we did after the shock was to unite with municipalities, kept them very close to us in building the resistance efforts in terms of building protocols, in terms of building innovative initiatives with them, which were producing masks and having them go along with the state plan, which is very well devised, with the contingency plan group of the most important doctors in Brazil, pathologists, virologists, and at the same time with the opening plan of what we call Sao Paulo plan. So this was very technical, it's still very technical, and we had to get people together, whether they were mayors, municipalities on one side, and the other side, the businesses. So we built protocols, and we enhanced those protocols, and we are moving on with the opening phases, one by one, as I mentioned, without having to go back. So we're moving forward slowly with management. I think getting around to do that, convincing people who are participating in such an effort and to a great extent sacrifice, I think was a victory for all of us.
Yeah, okay. Vinicius, was there one initiative of which you are particularly proud?
Well, I think at this stage, the protocols and the opening up of the economy in stages and having people to get to back safety in terms of health, I think there's the idea of working together was, I think, our greatest success. Working together is very hard, especially when you are doing it like we are doing now, getting connected and not sitting with people, then especially. But I think that we're very proud of, not myself and my team alone, but everybody that got together in Sao Paulo ended up managing and measuring. Measuring and managing are, to a great extent here, synonymous, because it builds confidence. You know where you're going, you know what you're doing. This is a very technical and political management crisis system that we're very proud of.
Yes, okay. How do you plan to rebuild and recover? Where are you innovating? Where are you innovating actually?
Well, we are relaunching. We're going to have a week of tourism with new packages, all sorts of new arrangements. We recently just realized that it was more important to move on with technology, also from the government point of view. So all our efforts are also directed to enhancing technology, applying to the solutions that I think around the world will come about. Technology, we are dealing with a lot of efforts in that direction because we have to build security with a new behavior that will come to stay, because it will take time until we have all these bubbles working together, and also the vaccines. So we have to get the idea that applying technology, applying solutions, mobilizing people, and we are doing this in a program of 1 week, getting everybody together in the state. So we set foot on 21 from this new perspective, which is not working fully in tourism, but working more and more each step.
Okay, very good. And how effective has the collaboration been between states, regions, and the national government? Is the public and private sector working together or in isolation, actually?
Well, I can respond from the point of view of Sao Paulo, and I have a good relationship with the Minister of Tourism, as a former minister, as ex-president on the tour, in terms of the credit program, and it's very successful. I think the investment the federal government did in credit, especially, were very good. The new credit lines are very good, considering Brazil as a developing country. I think Brazil is one of the countries that spend the most to tackle all the hardships of COVID from the economic standpoint. Now, on the health management, not so good, not so coordinated at all. But I think states did a good job. Many states did a good job. And I think we set the best example on what else. As a businessman, and we have managed this, as I said, managing, measuring. What cannot be measured cannot be managed. That's Peter Drucker, lesson 1. So we are doing very technical, very specialized management. And I think we have influence on the state. And during the crisis, we even approved the package of a new administrative reform in the state of Sao Paulo, so our economy will be able to invest next year. We were going down $3-4 billion in deficit for next year in terms of investment. We are going up on $12 billion of reais, which is $2-3 billion more investment. And that is also part of the crisis management, because if we don't have good perspective, how can we manage it? So last year, we grew 2.8% in Sao Paulo, whereas Brazil grew 0.9%. And in tourism, we grew 5.3%. We created 50,000 jobs. Now, we lost 150,000 jobs. We'll have to go back and get each one of these jobs back to the end of next year. So we're building up slowly, but steadily. And as I said, without having to go back, we're just moving forward. Other states are doing the same thing. Hopefully with the vaccine, and there is an issue with the vaccine now, it's not being well managed by federal government, the situation. But we are managing it well, and hopefully we can not only help vaccinate Sao Paulo, but help vaccinate with vaccines produced in Sao Paulo for the whole country, because that's what the Butantan Institute does every year. 75% of vaccines of this country are produced here. 10% of the vaccines of the world are produced by Butantan. So we hope the federal government understands that and let Butantan and Sao Paulo help this.
Okay. Thank you very much, Vinicius. So what can Sao Paulo do to convince international inbound and domestic visitors that the destination is COVID secure?
We are a safe destination by the WTTC, but it's beyond that. It's something that you cannot manage yourself alone, because planes go back and forth. And if Brazilians cannot get into a certain country, we don't have as many flights. So it's vice versa. This is a very unique crisis in the sense that you can only manage your own country, but you have to be lucky that other countries do the same thing at the same time. And the paces are different. So it's hard to control what's not controllable. So what we're trying to do is do our best the way we manage. And the way we manage is towards the best standards of safety. That's why the death rate is going steeply down. We doubled our health system during this last few months in testing hospitals. We are getting close to German standards in the state of Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo it's a large economy. It's the third economy of Latin America. We have Brazil, Mexico, and then Sao Paulo. Mm-hmm. Four other important countries of the region. It's a strong economy. But in the end, what we're trying to do as well is not only bidding or pitching for travelers, we're also pitching for investment. So we have a plan for 2021-22. We have the ex-minister of the economy, ex-president of the central bank, Henrique Meirelles, managing that. So we are launching that program that comes with both agendas. In our case, privatization of 22 airplanes, tourism venues, parks. In the case of infrastructure, the roads and ports. So there's a lot going on in this agenda of building investment alongside with building the traveling back. And we're not waiting one thing for the other. We're doing both things at the same time. And there's going to be virtual roadshow starting now. And next year we are opening further offices. First was Shanghai, we're opening offices in Munich, Dubai, and we are visiting New York. We are traveling around the world next year physically. This year, virtually. But the agenda is set. It's bidding, searching for investment, and connectivity back step by step, accordingly to what happens in all the bilateral and perhaps in some cases multilateral agreements or understandings of connectivity, flights, and safety, which I'm very optimistic in the end. Hopefully, I think technology, fast tests, live tests, I think all this will come about. I don't like masks. We have a mask here, but I'm a bit of claustrophobic, so I even really pray for someone to inventing a new mask. You should give a prize to someone who invents a good mask, a WTM award.
Now we go to the last question, okay? Vinicius, what are the top 3 things that need to be addressed in the next 12 months in your region, in Sao Paulo?
I think vaccines. We need to get that straight. Because we have only 10% of the world population that got COVID. So we have 90% of the population which haven't had. So if we don't have the vaccine, it's going to be probably taking too long. And as I said, this is not coordinated because there are different stages within countries. We see what happens in Europe now. Lots of countries and regions are going back. So I think if we have success in managing better behavior, adaptive behavior to COVID with masks and all the cares and technology is evolving. I mean, I still think vaccines 1, vaccines 2, and vaccines 3.
Vinicius, thank you very much for the interview. Now, we would like to formally present you with your World Travel Leaders Award winner certificate on behalf of WTM and Mercado y Eventos, the WTM Global Media Partner of Brazil since the year 2004. So Vinicius, congratulations. We are very sure that Sao Paulo and our regions are very well represented. Congratulations, and we are giving you now your World Travel Leader Awards winner certificate.
Well, here it is. Thank you very much, Rosa. Thank you, Mercado y Eventos family. Thank you, WTM. And I accept that on behalf of the state government, Governor John Doria, our team, everybody else that helped us during this crisis. And thank you very much for the recognition. And I'm very happy to see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vinicius, once again, and congratulations. Thank you to everybody for watching, and don't forget to find out more at www.mercadoeneventos.com.br, and remembering that the connect of our portal can be, the content of our portal can be translated to Portuguese, to English, to Germany, and to Spanish. Thank you very much.